Hey guys, how you doing? It's Mike again, and today I'm going to replace some starter boards on the roof and some rafter tails that have been damaged by dry rot and termites. We're going to go ahead and also replace some siding that's been damaged also by dry rot, and there are some other siding pieces on the house and trim pieces that have gone down below the soil level because of landscaping over the years. They brought the soil up and they've rotted the bottoms of that out. So we're going to go ahead and take some completely out, others we're going to just cut sections off because it's a waste when only a couple inches of wood is rotted out and 8 feet of it is fine. So I'll go ahead and show you the damage, and then we'll go ahead and walk through how I'm going to replace it and put new wood back in. On this home also we're putting a brand new roof on, so we are going to be stripping the roof tomorrow. So today I'm going to strip sections of it to replace the damaged roofing sections and rafters and rafter tails prior to us putting the new roof on. So go ahead and follow me along and I'll show you how it's done. Okay, this area right here, this is called the rafter. This is a rafter tail, and these are the starter boards and the gutter. And the starter board here is completely rotted out, and all that really has left is the paint, and that is termites and dry rot. Same thing here. A lot of termite damage. And the reason for this is you have the roof and you have the paper that goes over, and then you have the gutter, that the lap on the gutter has a little piece of metal that goes under the paper, so when the water comes down the roof it should go into your gutter. Problem is this roof has some broken tiles, but the main issue for this one, because these are good, these two rafter tails, is that the gutter overflowed and started backing up into here onto the starter board and then rotted it out. So we're going to remove the gutter, remove this starter board, and then I'm going to remove this rafter up into here and bust some stucco out and actually put a brand new rafter up by the fireplace. A lot of people would cut this out and just double up a couple new 2x6s, but this is a really nice house and it will not look correct. It'll actually look like it's big and beefy, and these are singles and I don't want to have that look. So I'm going to go the extra mile, bust the stucco out, take this actually out, and then the roofing is going to come off so I can re-nail these starter boards through the new rafter and then slip it back in the same location before we put the new roof back on. So we're going to go ahead and do that, do some demo, and then I'll show you when the new rafter tail's in. Okay, this is the section that has the damage underneath, and you can see how these tiles are broken. They're up here on that edge and all the way up by the fireplace. There's some broken on the ridge. There's some field tiles that are broken, and they're all over the place. This roof's in really poor condition. So we're going to start by removing these all the way here, and then I'll be able to pull that starter board up after we pull the paper off. This area is where the starter board is right here. That needs to be replaced. And then that rafter comes all the way up along the outside of that fireplace. Okay, so I've removed all the roofing and all the paper and pulled all the staples, and then I went ahead and these little this is a sheeting, and it's 1x4, and it's what they used to use. We're going to go ahead, and when we do pull the whole roof off, we're going to put OSB board down. But this is going up against the fireplace, and that rafter tail that's rotted out runs right up against the fireplace, and I'd like to nail it up in here and put a whole brand new one in. So I pulled the nails off of this rafter, which is one back, and I scribed a line, and I'm going to go ahead and cut that up and remove those. And the important part here is to set your blade depth on your skill saw. If you don't know how to use a skill saw, don't do it. You normally set it by the board in front, or drop it down to it, set it, and that would be the depth. Now we'll go ahead and cut that up there and pull those out. Okay, that should be enough to get some of these boards out of here. Some are in here, they're probably in here not with much. You'll find a lot of garbage inside too when they originally did the roof. All this stuff's inside there. This actually doesn't even have any insulation in here, so. It has a staple. So that's the rafter that I want to go up against, and there's framing for the fireplace. If I cut back here, then I can go ahead and pop it in. And the roof, it looks like, you can't see from there, but the roof is not attached to that rafter, so I'll be okay with cutting it out and go ahead and put another one up against here straight out, and then re-nail all these starter boards to it. And again, we're only talking, 7 starter boards, so I think I'm going to remove all the starter boards so it's a clean lay, and all the nails will go in real nice, and I won't sandwich these up at all for the homeowner. Okay, so you see I removed the starter boards. I went all the way up to the fireplace. And the thing that really drives me nuts is when I open something and you can see all this debris down inside the roof from the fireplace. And also in between, probably can't see that, but people from in between jobs over the years, they do jobs and they leave the inside the attic space full of debris, and they should vacuum that up. If you ever did any work inside the house and remove the ceiling, all that would fall down on top of you. So we're going to go ahead and vacuum all that up, and then I'll try to go ahead and start cutting this rafter out. And I can't get a Sawzall on there, so I'm going to use my fine tool. Okay guys, so now I've vacuumed this out, and the step flashing here that goes up the fireplace usually has little nails, and you can pull those out and slide this if it's in your way. I mean, this application up against with this rafter tail fireplace is kind of, you're probably not going to run into this all the time, but if you do, this is how it would be. But if you're changing other rafters, the same kind of application applies the way I'm removing this. Usually you can slide these up, get them out of your way. You got to expose the rafter, whatever else nails you have. This is the saddle. The saddle's not going to come out real easy. It's stuccoed in. But I want to cut it right here anyway. So I'm going to make a straight line off the roof. And I'm cutting back a little ways. The rafter's sitting on the plate over here on this backside. And then it's also notched out for this support for the overhang. So when it has the pressure down, it's hitting the plate, but it's also pushing up on this, which it won't move. And then it has the barge rafter on the outside, and it has another rafter right here that's supporting it. So I'm pretty comfortable with cutting it here, replacing it back in, and then putting another piece of wood over that with screws to hold that, and I'll show you that prior to sealing it up. So we're going to go ahead and mark this. That still has a little bit of termite damage, actually, now I'm seeing. it's all right. It's just a little, and I don't see any live termites. They're all dead. It's all dry wood, pellets. So this tool is great. This tool, we go ahead and go in with this to cut it. And that's all the way through the rafter. It's a 2x6, works great, kept a straight line. Then I'll get a Sawzall and I'll cut the freeze block up front, which you can't see right now, out for the nails so I can actually lift it out. And I'll also cut behind the stucco, which supports the rafter, and then it will slip out. And then when I reinstall it, I'll put construction adhesive between the stucco and the rafter. I'll put these two together, and then I'll put another piece of wood in here, remove a couple more of these, and I'll screw that one to that rafter and then nail it back down to the top plate. Okay, this is the new section around the fireplace. And we got here with the roofers and we just went to town, and I had some issues with the camera, so I wasn't able to film putting back in the lumber. But I did get the starter boards down and the new rafter, and I'll show you from underneath and explain how I put that in. But the new roof's a Presidential TL, and almost complete. Okay, you can see the new rafter that I put behind that stucco, so I didn't have to bust the stucco out. And these are all new starter boards, all the way up. So now everything's brand new, and no more termite damage, no more dry rot damage, and looking clean. Okay, well, again, I apologize that the work's already done, but the roofers got here and everything started happening real fast, and I had some issues with the camera. But what I did is, you saw the point where I cut that rafter out with the fine tool. I went ahead and slid it out, and then I measured straight up off the plate to the top of the rafter, and then over to the edge of my cut, and to make the pattern, since it was all rotted out. And then just made the notch the same as the other rafter tails that are here on the house. And then went and replaced the rafter, glued it with some construction adhesive to the stucco, and then put another chunk of 2x6 against the existing rafter and the new rafter, and screwed those all together, and then also put some metal plates on that seam. So once I got that in, went ahead and put the starter boards back down and nailed them all down, and that was this corner. That's how you fix it. So actually came out really well. I did a few other corners I can show you. Okay, this is the back half of the house, which was also all rotted out, and you can see I replaced at least 8 starter boards and 2 of the blocks and 2 rafters. And again, the rafter closest to us here goes all the way up into the garage, and then that rafter over here is an outside rafter, which also I did, which is the same as I did with the fireplace. There's a stucco on the outside, and I was able to pull it out, cut it, block it, and put metal brackets back on, and then nail all the starter boards back down. Looks much better when they all line back up than if you doubled them up. They just wouldn't match. Again, I hope you learned something from this on removing and replacing the damaged wood on rafters and starter boards. If you have any questions, please do comments. Please subscribe, and look forward to having you be a subscriber, and I'll have new videos coming out soon. Take care.